Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be talking about a huge pattern change that's coming to the United States that's going to change literally everything, including the temperatures, which are going to fall substantially over the weekend. There's also going to be chance for a winter storm as far south as Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and even into Louisiana, and maybe even Georgia, and there will be some ice and snow to come along with it. I'll be giving you the latest breakdown on everything that you need to know in this forecast, and let's first begin with what's happening across the United States today, and we'll begin with the Midwest. And this has been the point of focus basically over the last 48 hours. We've had this large low pressure system strengthening from the central and southern plains last night. It moved all the way into the Midwest. It nearly became a bomb cyclone. It's not confirmed yet. It still has a chance to do so, and basically what that means is that the pressure of this low pressure system has to drop 24 millibars over a 24-hour period. We've yet to see that, but it's going to be a very close call. Either way, it's a very impactful winter storm. It's brought upwards of 10 to 12 inches of snow to much of the Midwest already. Additional snowfall accumulation up to 15 to 18 inches of snow still is a possibility for those areas that have already seen about a foot of snow so far tonight and today. Overall, on the East Coast, we have some showers and storms across areas in the Carolinas back through Florida, but all that activity, to be honest with you, was not very impressive today. A lot of rain, some storm activity, but we had very little severe weather. Let's just say that. There was a little bit of severe weather last night in Arkansas and Texas. A few tornado warnings. There was even one in Mississippi this morning, but again, it wasn't really much that materialized. There wasn't enough moisture in the lower levels, and the instability was a super big issue. There really was not much for this severe weather event to really ramp up. So good news there, because we didn't really see any tornadoes today. It could have been way worse. We could have had a tornado outbreak, but luckily that did not happen today. Now let's go through the future radar for the next several days, and I'm going to point out some of the big events that are on the horizon here in the United States. And obviously tonight into tomorrow, we're going to continue to see snow across parts of the Midwest and as well as the Great Lakes region. One thing we need to still watch for this weekend will be lake effect snow. The main areas to watch for will be Buffalo, New York, Watertown, New York, and as well as back through parts of western Michigan and the Michigan Peninsula. In particular, Watertown, New York and Buffalo, New York, you can expect upwards of 1 to 2 feet of snow from about tomorrow morning all the way through Monday morning. So those areas, you're going to see a lot of snowfall. Northern New England, a little bit of snow as we go into tomorrow, but it will be a pretty quick moving system. Once we go into Sunday, that lake effect snow will continue. Our next little storm that's going to be impacting the United States will not arrive until late Sunday night. This is going to begin in the southern plains, and it's going to develop with a little bit of moisture. This is what we're going to be looking at about Sunday night around 9 o'clock. We're going to have a little bit of freezing rain trying to develop, maybe some snow, and this is going to turn into our next winter storm. There are already winter storm watches in effect, by the way, for parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma, and what we're going to be watching for very closely is this to develop into more of some moderate to heavy snow across Arkansas and as well as back through northern Mississippi going into Monday morning, which again, this is not a common event. This is pretty rare. And then once we go throughout Monday morning, we're going to continue to see freezing rain and snow across Arkansas, back through Mississippi and Tennessee. And then once we go closer to Monday afternoon, the snow will continue across areas like Tennessee, back into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, some freezing rain from Texas back into Mississippi, and this eventually will move to the east as we go into Tuesday morning. There is still some uncertainty of what happens down in the southeast and the mid-Atlantic region going into Monday night into Tuesday morning. Will we see freezing rain that leads to ice? Will we see some snow accumulation? Those questions are still yet to be answered. It seems to be a low chance at this time, but stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll keep you posted with the latest with any big changes that come your way with this event. Now let's talk more about the specific timing here in the southern plains going into Sunday evening. Again, this will be right around 9 o'clock. We'll be watching for freezing rain in parts of southern North Texas. This is still a little bit of a question mark on exactly where it falls. And the biggest trick with this system is that this is not an organized low pressure system. And the other key thing is that this is going to be very light freezing rain. And even the lightest of freezing rain and even the smallest amount of ice, even a 1/100th of an inch, can lead to some pretty major travel impacts because, you know, areas in Texas, they don't get road treatment for the most part unless it's like a major highway. So that's going to cause a big issue here in a lot of Texas as we go into Sunday night into Monday morning. Notice there will be some moderate snowfall across parts of Arkansas, but mostly light snow overall. This freezing rain and snow event will continue through Monday morning, and it's not going to move very quick Monday morning, so it's going to pile up a bit quicker than usual. And then once we go into Monday afternoon around 3 o'clock, all that freezing rain and snow moves into areas like Mississippi and as well as Louisiana, and we'll be watching for a bit more of maybe an ice event here in parts of northern Louisiana near the interstate. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, this all clears out. Key thing though is that if we do see ice accumulation, it's probably going to be on the ground all the way through Wednesday morning at least, because most of these areas will not go above freezing on Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday, you will probably go above freezing during the afternoon hours, so keep that in mind. Here's the early estimates on terms of snowfall totals. I think overall the main area to be watching for snow will be across areas in southern Arkansas back through northern Mississippi. I am expecting 3 to 6 inches of snowfall in these areas in southern and central Arkansas, so just south of Little Rock, and then back into northern Mississippi, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall is expected. A few isolated spots, perhaps maybe here near the Mississippi River, will get closer to 8 to 9 inches of snow, which again, not really something you see very often there. Back into North Texas, I'm expecting about 1 to 2 inches of snow for most of Northeast Texas and Southeast Oklahoma, maybe a coating if you're in the northern DFW area. So that's what I think as of right now. In terms of ice accumulation, this is a very early estimate. I still think there could be some big changes to this, so stay tuned. There's a lot of things that could change over the next 24 hours, but I am expecting at least around 1/10 of an inch of ice for much of parts of eastern Texas and as well as back through parts of the North Texas region, back into northern Louisiana and central and western parts of Mississippi. There are winter storm watches in effect, as I mentioned before. These do include eastern Oklahoma, back into parts of northeast Louisiana, northern parts of Mississippi, almost the entire state of Arkansas, and as well as western Tennessee. Western Tennessee will be mainly snow. I would expect some winter storm watches or winter weather advisories in northeast Texas within the next 24 hours, so just be mindful there. Now, we've been talking about this for the last several days, this massive Arctic blast that's coming to the United States, and it is about to unleash seriously cold air and dangerous cold air as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Notice this huge pocket of air behind this big low pressure system. We have this massive Arctic blast that's going to unleash tons of cold air out of Canada from the polar vortex as we go into Saturday into Sunday, which, by the way, this will have multiple rounds. We're going to see more cold air into Tuesday. This low pressure center will be circling in Canada through Wednesday and Thursday, so we're going to get more shots of cold air across parts of the Midwest, even going into Saturday into Sunday. So this is not leaving anytime soon. The earliest that we'll be seeing this leaving will probably be either this upcoming weekend, so the following weekend, about 8-9 days from now, or perhaps the next week. So it's going to be here for quite a while. Temperatures will be as much as 50 degrees below average in Montana tonight. Tomorrow we'll have areas in the Midwest, including like Iowa, as much as 40 degrees below average going into tomorrow. It is going to be frigid. In terms of wind chills, as we go into Monday morning, which will probably be the coldest morning of the week for much of the Midwest, we'll be looking at areas about 30 degrees below average for wind chills. Even back down into Texas, we're still talking about areas near 0 degrees for wind chills, and even back into the Midwest, 40 below zero, perhaps near Chicago. So again, it's going to be very cold there. The actual temperatures will be a little bit warmer, obviously, since we're not dealing with the wind factor. Areas in the Midwest still 10 to 20 degrees below zero. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, still a similar story. We're talking about many areas 10 to 15 degrees below zero. That snow is not going to be melting anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the button down below and subscribe if you've not already.